I'm looking for more businesses to test the chatbot on. And I'm also doing another program called Fluent Future, which is a language learning app for newcomers. And I'm looking for beta testers for that. So if you know anybody who's wanting to learn or improve their English, feel free to send them my way, as I can help them out. Thank you. Hope everyone has a great week.
Thanks, Rael. And before we swing to Kat, one of the things, hey, if you're part of Phoenix and you have messages you want to put out and promote within your business, much like Carolee has, that's what Kat does. And Kat, over to you, and then we will swing over to Eric, who's puffing now.
Hi, everybody. So firstly, Carolee, you're very welcome for me sharing it. Rael, please send me what you need and I will get it put out on our social as well for your beta testers, etc. Um, so I work in the marketing space, as you all know, and what's been coming up for me in the last 7 days is that people don't understand the power of having a Facebook and a social media account in the sense of it's never backed up and there are no secondary users on any business accounts. Now, when Facebook steal your account for whatever reason, there is no person behind it. So the chances are, if it goes, it goes. There's like maybe a 1 in 10 chance it will ever come back. So what I want to emphasize today is any of you that have a social media account, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, can you please go in and back it up so that you're going in and you've got a list of everybody that you are connected to. You've got their email addresses, you've got phone numbers, any information they've got online. And also make sure there is, especially on your Facebook account, there is a secondary user on that account so that if your Facebook goes down, there is somebody else and you don't lose your entire business page. And on LinkedIn, you can do it by having a secondary admin as opposed to somebody who actually owns the page. If you don't know how to do this, please do reach out to me and I am more than happy to help you to set these up. If you want me to be a backup, I can do that for you as well. It's not that I'm trying to take your social media. I'm trying to protect your intellectual property and make sure that the data you have is yours and it doesn't belong to the internet, if that makes sense. And I feel like I'm lecturing, so back to you, Bernie.
Oh, Kat, you can lecture. That's okay. That was really great job. And I'm going to swing over to Eric and then Kelly. And before we touch with Eric, home care specialty products for seniors and the disabled. And if you know someone that is in that space that can provide service, we have need for that type of industry inside the Phoenix Group. Eric, over to you, sir.
Good morning, Bernie. Monday morning came a lot faster than I was anticipating. Uh, I still mentally am still in bed, by the way. um, Eric,
Nice go.
Eric Sonego of CA Pros. We are an accounting firm with about eight offices in Canada. We specialize in um, you know uh, medium-sized businesses and professionals. A lot of professionals we do in tax time because they in some industries you are not incorporated, so we see them at tax time to do their T21 25s and that kind of stuff. Um, we don't advertise taxes and we don't advertise estates. Yet I spend my time involved with taxes and estates. That's why we don't advertise it, because they account for 80% of the problems that I have and 20% of the income. You know that law of time management that applies here as well. 80% of my headaches come from 20% of my files. The rest are, people that I work seamlessly with, and they were seamless with me. So, but I spent my time with the problems, and that's what I remember when I'm here. I remember the problems I have. I don't remember all of the stuff that I do that is unproblematic. So I hope that if you refer people to me, they are part of the 80% and not part of the 20%. But we will do the 20%, but we will talk about it more often. 613-254-7310.
Eric, may all your clients be the 80% cluster. And we're also live on LinkedIn, and that's the feed link to it. So put your contact details in that space. Is a good way to start that promotional element of who you are, where you are, and what you do. Kelly, and then we will go to Norm. Go ahead, Kelly.
Good morning, all. My name is Kelly. I'm your local real estate agent. I help clients make smart, confident real estate decisions and moves. I use a lot of very deep market insight, and I combine it with highly personalized experience. So whether you're buying or selling, my approach is very hands-on and it's very data-driven and it's very human. I focus on understanding what you really need. Then I design a strategy that delivers results with hopefully as little stress as possible. I work between Ottawa and Toronto, and I have a real knack for strong negotiating, concierge level client experience. So my clients never feel like they're just they're a number. They really do feel very much supported and intelligently so. Recently, I had a BAM with Kat and Josh. And so we're discussing some options on how to strategize and approaches to take to support my online media presence through Kat. Thank you if I ever get it back. And Josh to help secure my my systems. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you, Kelly. And next quick prompt is for Subaru. Not Subaru, Cyberhoot. Oh, yeah. My command of English language. I'm going to need Rail's course there soon. You want to get some free training on how not to click on the wrong things and have it a positive experience. That's what Cyberhoot's all about. They make their money by selling that service to larger businesses. Norm, over to you, and then Jacqueline.
Norm Boyer, Boys Home Maintenance Repairs. Thought I talked a bit about an estimate that we did this morning, which I haven't talked about before, but we do some flooring, specifically basement flooring. So we have a quote I sent out this morning. The tenant had cats, rug in the basement, there's urine all over the rug in the basement. The rug has been taken off, but the urine is in the concrete. So we will go and neutralize the odor with vinegar and baking soda, right? Well, other companies might just go ignore that, but the smell is still there. Then we have a luxury vinyl tile, which has quick release glue. So we glue the tile down, and if there's damage in the middle of the floor, one of the tiles, we take a suction cup, we lift up that tile, right? And put put some more glue down, put the tile down. So we don't have to start from the wall over to the damaged section. Then we only use baseboard and quarter round this wood. We do not use MDF in the basement, maybe upstairs, but definitely not in the basement. And then we paint it with Benjamin Moore Aurora paint, which is the best paint they want. If the customer says, I can supply the paint, I can go to this big box store. And then we say, well, get somebody else to do the job. We only use the high-end quality because if we don't, the service calls will come back and eat us. Right? So that's the difference between Boys that say we can do it cheaper or we can do it better at a reasonable price. So Boys Home Maintenance Repair, the honey-do list, we get it done and we fix your home.
Norm, thank you so much. And next quick prompt is if you need someone to stand in for you to say, hey, my business is here and alive and well, reach out to Mike. He can be your step in and your doppelganger, so to speak, and do a quick what's up. And we're going to head over to Jacqueline and then Shane. Jacqueline, over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're busy, rain or not, taking a beautiful deep breath as you lift your shoulders, take them back, release them down, and know you got help. You've got help. And start small. It's okay to start small. I have so many first-time homeowners who didn't realize just how small was. It becomes reality. It becomes answering the questions. It becomes, what do you have? How can we make it work for you? It's all about how can we make it work for you? And that's why I suggest looking for strategies. Norm, thank you so much for coming out to visit with me. I very much appreciate the opportunity to have a conversation with you. When you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, you need to contact Wait, Your Mortgage Honey.
Declan, thank you so much. And we're going to swing over to Shane. Shane, what's happening, man? Are you walking in the rain, or are you dry?
We are raining, so it's driving time. My wife, and that's the kiddos back there. But anyways,
Yeah.
can you hear me? I hope so, because I'm
Yes,
having
sir.
my earphone thing because this one doesn't work. This one doesn't work. But anyways, I do work with a lot of organizations. I'm Pro Action Health and Performance, so we had a hockey team that we work with in the PN Raiders, the junior A teams, and we also have some affiliations with some of the Silver Sevens and things like that as well. But on Friday, I get a call, and I'm kind of late at night, and the kid had run into the boards. His dad was worried about his concussion. He goes, "I need to come see you immediately and see you tomorrow." And I'm like, "Well, for one thing, I'm not even in town, but I have other associates that can do this." And then my big thing was, let's start looking at what we need to do anyway. And immediately after concussion, we don't go do testing. We don't do a whole bunch of that stuff. We get them to rest a little bit so we have best chance to heal the first couple days. Then after that, that's when we start going and doing other things, right? So we started doing the testing about the third day. So it's perfect. I give him the advice of what he needed to do, what he needed to eat, the kind of sleep that he does, this type of routine he needs to do, and everything. So having that affiliation, they would never have been able to see anybody or get in contact. And that first 24 hours, there's a lot of little things you kind of need to do to make things get better right away. So I was able to kind of instruct him. He was doing better. I talked to him on the weekend because we have that little agreement. Now he can talk to us. So he has someone else to go on to saying, what's the plan next? And he's doing a fabulous this morning. And it was a pretty bad hit from what he sent me the video and everything else. So anyways, that's the kind of service we give our people coming forward. We love to get in touch with organizations. So if you have a local team that wants like a little bit of sponsorship to come in for like a talk, then we can get back to them and do that. So that's our big thing, is being available. And, we make those affiliations. That's what we can really help out with, is that quality of care and just being able to get in touch with somebody who can give you the right direction on how to treat your injuries. Anyways, I hope you have a great day, guys. I'm Pro Action Health and Performance. We see results. So should you. Give us a call. We can help you.
Shane, thank you so much. Next quick prompt is the @Hive location. If you want to have a BAM with me, we can always meet there and have a bite to eat or a coffee. Kind of a relaxed space. And Dwight, over to you, sir, and then Tony.
Hello, everyone. Hope all is well. Happy Monday. Happy rainy Monday. Yeah, it's been a pretty busy last few weeks for us. Just completed another week at the food truck. We're winding down to the end of the season. Hoping probably to go on till the end of this month. We'll see how the weather unfolds with it, because it just dictates how long we're staying there and how warm we want to be when we're preparing meals for the customers. But yeah, it's been pretty steady, pretty busy there. And we just had another market this weekend over at Lansdowne Platform. Again, always a busy venue when we are there. And we have one of the final markets that we do this coming Saturday over at the Parkdale Avenue from 12 till 4. It's one of the bigger venues that we service or we partake in. It's called Vegan Zoo Snack. And basically, it's going to be about close to 90 vendors there in terms of mostly vegan participants. Anyone that cooks or creates vegan foods will be there. There'll be some other participants there, basically offering artistry merchandise for sale, but majority will be I guess restaurants or small businesses that create vegan food. So if you want to have a taste of many different vegan foods, you should pop in there. We'll be there from 12 to 4, 366 Parkdale Avenue. And also, if you're on the road, want to have something to eat away from vegan, we'll be cooking some up over at the truck at 8717 Bank Street. So another busy week, and looking forward to seeing and having you taste test some of our services. Dwight and Nicole, Tasty Life Safe Catering. They were the vegan slash plus Caribbean food food services. Thanks. Take care. Bye.
Dwight, you're bad. You're making me hungry already, and I've already had something to eat this morning. So yeah, bad, but good. Freshly Brewed Coaching. It's a book that's out there. It just recently launched. My co-host from the Act for Business, Wayne Pratt and Matt Hawksley, spun it up and got it out the door. And Eric's already bought a copy. So there we go. And Tony, what's happening in your universe, sir?
Thank you very much, Bernie. The other thing I wanted to mention, just as an additional thing, is right now our e-cards. If you've noticed, there's some pictures that are missing. I got a call from a couple of our members, and for some reason, I'm still trying to get some answers on why some of the pictures are not there. So you'll notice that your link is working, everything's there, but there's not many pictures. So the links are working, everything is fine there, but we're looking into why the pictures aren't publishing. So that's something that we're working on, and that should be rectified very soon. Okay. So Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group. It's amazing. This weekend, it seemed to be a big time for breakups. I had one mother that had a daughter, and just out of nowhere, a 5-year relationship just ended. The fellow just decided he's going to go in a different direction, and that was it. It was just like totally blindsided. And that was very similar to another one about 4 hours or 5 hours later. So in the spring, we're always trying to, get rid of the leaves and so on. So it just seems like going into a relationship, if it catch you blindsided, and both of them affected their work, they didn't understand what was going on. They were trying to say why. And so they came in for a tuning session, and within an hour and a half, it was basically done. It's you got to realize anything that is poking you, anything that is on your mind and you can't get it out is an energy. It's not you. It's not something that you are distraught about. It's just that you don't have any answers. You don't have any insight as to why. That's not always the best question. In both cases, it was a gift because it actually came out, well, what if this, and there, one was 22, one was 28. And it was just starting the relationship. There was no real children. There was no real children. There's fake ones, but no, there was no children. But if that relationship would have gone on, then it would have been a bigger deal, right? So it's in many cases, it's better to know way ahead of time that something's not going to work. And when you get that insight, you'll look at the same situation, the same problem, in a different way. You're saying, yeah, that's true. I wouldn't want a man that is not committed and just sort of doesn't think this is going to work. I would like to know at the beginning, not in the middle or near the end, sort of thing. So so it's all it is. So if you know somebody who's going through a really tough time in breakups or being laid off at work or something, it's usually, it's not always the case, but I would say majority of the cases is because there's something better coming, a better relationship, a better job, a better something. So I look at things in a wider perspective at 30,000 feet rather than just looking at something right in front of you. It's a different way of looking at a perspective, okay? So Tony Jennis from Higher Self, we are here to raise your spirits. And did some business with Susan McGarry, got some more power bars, ongoing business with Eric Sinego, marvelous and amazing guy. He's always on top of things. The 1,000 clients that he has, I'm still just so baffled that, they were able to keep everything sort of balanced and going there. So way to go, Eric. It's not easy finding good staff. So this is more, I guess, of your ability to find great people that work for you, because you need those people. So nice going, sir. And Rial, ongoing business with him. We've got him doing some projects for us. And Kat, ongoing. Thank you, Kat. You're the best. And doing some more work with Josh Lamb for our IT. Just as a reminder, on October the 14th was the last time that Windows 10 is upgraded. So if you have an old operating system of Windows 10, you might need to go to Windows 11. It is then going to be free from hacks and stuff like that, because that's something we don't need. Make sure you back up your information, because data is absolutely useless until it's gone. Okay, so thanks a lot, Bernie. Back to you.
Tony, thank you so much. So Creative Insight, Back for Business podcast. It's been rocking and rolling. Getting slowly through season 3, as in getting posted out there. We're up to podcast 153, and 179 is the last one out the gate. So 3 a week, 4 a week. And East Trade Winds. It has been a really good conversations. We've had one gentleman from last week who is company's called Seed Legal, and he talks to people about he's out of the UK and he's going into the US, but he helps people structure elements around it. So the paperwork is there. And he does not profess to be an accountant. He would probably defer automatically to Eric, but he has a lot of wisdom in what he does, and he helps looking for venture funding or angel funding, and also explains the pitfalls and the bonuses in that space. And what else has been going on? Well, let's see, October 28th, which is a Tuesday, Kat speaking at East Trade Winds. So if you want to see Kat talking about, I'm not even sure what Kat's going to be talking about, but I know it's going to be good. It might be how to safeguard your social media so it doesn't go sideways on you. This week, let's see, I did a podcast interview with Carl. Tony attended East Trade Winds, and did I mention that Dave sold some fish and some salmon? So if you don't know who Dave is, he's the gentleman who sells beef and salmon and smoked salmon from Toronto, and that comes from the East Coast. It is super tasty. My mouth's watering. And yeah, I'm going to stop there. Otherwise, I'm going to really hungry. We're going to do a mastermind. Our guest for today couldn't make it, unfortunately. So, Tony, do you want to lead off on the mastermind?
Yeah. Thank you, Bernie. In our education, we talked about the way that we can measure the experience of the clients that you deal with. How do you know that what you're trying to deliver is a good experience for your clients? I mean, so I want to kind of go around the table and find out what kind of methods do you use? Is it feedback, or do you send a note to people after you do a session with them, or after you do some work with them, just to get some, what do you think about the work? Because when people are in front of you, they'll say certain things, but then when you're gone, then they'll say other things at times. I've noticed that. Especially I've noticed it myself with younger people. They could be right here in front of me, and they say, "Oh, Tony, that was a great session. Really loved it." And then on the way home, they said, "I don't understand that guy." So that's the feedback I want, because then I'll be looking at it from a different perspective. So if there's a unbiased and sort of a clear, true way that you can really measure how you're doing on the perspective of how the client is seeing you, I'd like to share and see what kind of way or methods that you guys use for feedback and for knowing where you stand in the market, because you want to be able to make it so that you're not just an accountant, or you're not just a handyman, or you're not just an IT person. There's got to be something special about you that makes people want to stay? Loyalty. What is that? What does loyalty mean? If it's just a better price, we know that loyalty is out the window. There has to be something more than just the price. So, Norm, what kind of things do you do so that people know that you're doing good work, but they're saying one thing in front of you? Do they say something else when you're not there, maybe on social media or something? Like, how do you measure how you do?
Well, one thing we do that we get feedback from the customers, we go the extra mile, which means they contract us to do something as, oh, well, I'm here, I'll fix this. Maybe something small, but I fixed something small that wasn't in the contract. And then we're looking, they need that done. So that's why we get good feedback, is we do something that the other guys don't do. And usually we'll send them an email or text message and say, well, the feedback that we get, the best feedback that we get is they pay us.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So they will give us feedback if we didn't do something right, they want it done so that we can get paid. So an old trainer that had this thing, you can be right or you can be paid. Right. So the customer says, "Oh, you put a couple more nails there." You can argue with them and say, "You run a couple more nails." You just put a couple more nails instead of arguing something that's inconsequential. So you have to be different and unique. That's the way you get good feedback.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, Carolee.
So it's a little different in our situation than, say, having paid customers when we are dealing with our food bank clients. So what we do here at the Canada Food Cupboard is we send out client surveys, and we usually do them 2 to 3 times a year. So we send anonymous surveys to all of our clients, whether it's a general survey, whether it's something specific to a set program, and that way we get that feedback, and then we can make any necessary changes. But part of us here at the Canada Food Cupboard, we're a member of Feed Ontario, and there are certain standards that we have to adhere to. And one of them is in accordance to the standards of operations. And one of our standards of operations is that we do include client feedback as part of our planning. So, for example, when a program's not working or a program is working, we listen to what our clients have to say, and we take that advice and try to make changes deemed necessary. So it's important to listen to your clientele at all times.
So do you actually have your clients come in and be part of the session, or is it just sort of feedback you have written down?
So we do it by email, is how we do it,
Okay.
Tony. So we send them a link, whether a Microsoft Forms or something like that, one of those forms, and send out the satisfaction surveys or any type of survey that way. And that way, clients can answer those questions anonymously.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And the other reason that I bring that up, because I was reading this one grocery store wanted to sell a lot more fish, and they didn't understand why their fish sales were kind of dragging. So they actually brought in a couple of customers that they know in the area, and as part of the business meeting, they said, "Look, what are you? We know that you buy fish every so often. What is the deal? Well, it's not fresh." Well, the guy says it's absolutely fresh. It just came in this morning. We put it in the package and we put it out, so it's absolutely fresh. Yeah, but it's in a package. Then they realized, oh, so you want it open? We thought it would be good to have it so that it's healthier. And no, I want to see the fish open. So they changed it to like a fish bar, and there's a person, of course, in charge of that, and then they would grab it, and so nobody would be touching it and everything. But it's all unopened, so it's unpackaged, in other words. And their fish sales tripled because of it. So that's just one example where if you brought somebody in as part of the decision making, what is the customer saying about it? And they says it's absolutely fresh. But anyway, anybody else have a similar thing? Dwight, you deal with food all the time. What kind of feedback or whatever way that that the products that you're coming out with, because I know you have new products too. So where do they come from?
Yeah, the best feedback we've been getting from our clients is referrals. And just over the past, it's been what, 7 months or 7 weeks now since we've been at the food truck. And when we first went out, the first week, everyone came by just because it was brand new. But the funny thing was that everyone that's been coming back over the last 4 weeks, they've enjoyed what we presented to them the first couple of weeks, and they've been telling the families and who've also been just telling others within the community. So most of the clients that's been coming back to us over the last few weeks there have just been referrals from within the community because we've been giving to them good food and they've been enjoying it, and it's just been a lot of word of mouth. And it's, I guess we're looking forward to next season, in a sense that going in there and having a full season as opposed to the last 2.5 months of, or the last month and a half of opening up in September. So we find that there, but also the last, given the fact that we've been going to the market for the last 3+ years, the majority of our clientele has been coming back is just based on the feedback they've been getting from others, and that we continue to give good food, tasty food, unlike going out to a particular restaurant and say asking for vegan cuisine and whatever they get has really no taste or flavor or anything put together. So it's been a lot of feedback based on other experiences they've had. So we just continue to thrive based on that.
Okay, Dwight, good. Eric, what about you? I know you just joined a larger firm right across Canada. Do you think your clients, any feedback there as to how they're reacting? I mean, you probably have already been telling people that you're part of a larger group and so on and so on. What kind of way do you use to see if the clients are on board with it?
Because I try to, whether I am part of a larger firm or I was just me, here, I try to treat people as if they were the only client I had when they're in the office. And my office is geared to that. Like nobody walks in and talks about another client when there's a client here. They concentrate on the person that is here, and that person thinks they're my only client. And we give them that kind of reception. But I give advice to people who are in business, and one of the things I tell people is that it's better to, if you're going to sell water, it's better to be living in a desert than it is to living in Bank Street. Because in the desert, you have no competition and you have a lot of need. On Bank Street, you have a lot of sellers of water. So you have to concentrate on where you are, and that dictates how you're going to sell and who you're going to sell to. In professional services, it's not that big of a deal because we are close by an area. I cannot do the taxes of someone living in Timbuktu, so I am not going to advertise in Timbuktu. Even though I could be part of a firm that does work in Timbuktu, but I'm not going to be going to Timbuktu. So you have to remember that you have a geographical area that you are operating in, and joining a larger business means that my geographical area has expanded to a certain degree.
Yes.
To a certain degree, because I'll get referrals on some things that we are good at here, and we will refer, like U.S. taxes, for instance. I refer them out to them because they have experts that do U.S. taxes. So and I'm not about to start developing a practice on U.S. taxes. So that's what the benefit of being in a larger firm gives you. But if you treat everybody as if they were the most important person in your life at the time they're here, and when they're on the phone and when you contact with them, And if you answer their emails reasonably fast, not on the spot, but reasonably fast, and if you do not think social media is the end all and be all of everything, because I have 30%, or I would say 50% of my practice is people who are in social media. But I have 30% of my tax practice, especially the older people, who think social media is the worst thing that could happen to mankind and to the world. So those people, we don't talk about social media. We don't say copy our thing here. We don't say come to our website. We don't say anything like that because they're 80 years old or they're 85 years old and they want their taxes done, and that's all. And we have to sometimes go to them because they cannot come to us. But we wouldn't make that kind of a trip for someone who has a car and is 40 years old and he has a job, right? So it has to be someone who cannot come to us because of physical impairness. But I think experience gives you that. I think I'm not the accountant I was when I started, and my office is not the same place as it was when I first created it. I think that experience gives you that. And
Right.
and if you have a life if you have a life outside of work that is easy, and that uh, things are done in a team effort, right? My invisible partner here is my wife. Like if you have that kind of a relationship with your other side of you, right? uh, and if you treat that as being important in your practice, right? Like when I have a staff meeting, I say to people, my wife is not an accountant, but she is my wife. So when she talks to my staff, they have to remember that she is my wife, that she is important, right? So all of that is part of who we are.
Yeah, and when people get that impression that it's that one-on-one thing, because I've had many accountants over the years, and I haven't had one of them that will meet with me the way you do every year. Yeah, you meet with me every year, and we go through everything, that's feedback right now that you're getting that's not done. So it's great that you're doing that. Yeah, that's awesome. But just something that's in a bigger realm, like Kelly. Like when you're doing real estate, there's so many people doing real estate in Ottawa. It's got to be over 3,600 that's doing it. I'm not sure what it's like in Toronto because you also deal with that space as well. Like how do you know that you're doing what people are wanting, and that the experience is good on their end?
Great question. Just to fill in a small factoid, the Toronto real estate agent per capita market is the most saturated one in North America, more so than New York City, more so
Wow.
than LA, Vancouver. So anyone who's able to carve even a little bit of success is doing many things right. Someone who's working a lot. I mean, I work a lot, but I believe that it's by virtue of the fact of exactly what we're talking about. While I'm working with a client in real time, I'm checking in, maybe annoyingly so, constantly. It's almost like constant live scanning of the scenario and constant live scanning of the market. So I'm doing daily research to see if anything has changed. Like if I'm representing the sale of a house, I'm looking at the immediate neighborhood and then I'm looking at a larger radius from that perspective. From a client satisfaction perspective, I'm letting them know I've done this, I'm doing this, not for praise or not to be like, give me 5 stars, I'm amazing, but to reassure them that their project, their sale or purchase, is at top of mind. So I'm checking in almost daily. If I don't hear from them for a couple of days, I'm like, hey, where you at? Just checking in, because people can go quiet when they're overwhelmed, and this process can be overwhelming. So I insert myself into their lives and into their text messages or their WhatsApp, and I just get in there and I check. Are we still good? Do you have any new fears or concerns? Have you noticed anything new that I have caught? Let's discuss. After the fact, they will have a lot of information from which to pull for when I share. I do send a request for a review through a platform called Rate My Agent. Catherine, in her recent Infinite Wisdom, has also suggested I recommit to the idea of getting my Google review up. So that's something that is a future project. There's no harm in getting reviews from both platforms. And I solicit them. I email them. I let them know ahead of time. I'm going to be sending you this review. You're not obligated, but it really does help me. And referrals, your review and your referrals are the best support that you can give me for my business. And I get a lot of reviews and I get a lot of referrals. So I think so far it's working well, but there's always something else I can probably be doing. I could be absolutely following up differently. So the more mastermind conversations we have collectively, the better, because 10 brains is better than one, that's for sure.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Oh, that's very thorough. Yeah, Shane, I'm not sure if you're listening or you want to get in on this just to see how you guys do, because you got a clinic. There's several people working with you. So how do you know that the services that you're doing is working?
Hi.
Hi.
Here, I'm going to turn my video off because then I have to hold it, and you guys don't want to see me as much.
Yeah.
All good. So for us, you have to ask for referrals, right? Reviews and stuff like that. You'll hear people talk about it, and you have to go, hey, do you mind putting that, in Google review or something like that? That's how you kind of know. In our profession, people are pretty vocal about, yes, that was a great treatment. Or my front desk does ask, like, oh, how are you feeling, stuff like that, which I'm yes and no with that, because at the same time, I hate putting people on the spot where it's like, say something, like just like Tony, if you had someone after a tuning session, you're like, how did that go? It's like they want to say good things about you. And for me, like if I'm in the office, or sorry, in the room with the patient, and I do a treatment on them and then I retest it or whatever, and I'll say, well, how did that feel? Or is it less pain? Or what did you feel? She's like, oh yeah, it's a bit better. Well, what's a bit better? Because if they're just saying it to make me feel good, that ain't helping either one of us. So I have to say, how much percentage wise? And if they say anything 5% or less, to me, that's not an improvement. So that's how I kind of get it in the clinic overall. Constantly, like I said, we ask about referrals. We also have a survey thing that's kind of like anonymous that comes out of our thing, because we use Jane app, which is a medical program and electronic copies of files. And it sends out them a survey going, 1 to 10, what do you think about your treatment and stuff like that too. So you can get feedback that way overall. So to me, that's what it is. And having a good staff, because sometimes people talk to different people. So my wife, just like Eric's wife, is involved, but my wife is actually a chiropractor. So she's actually has a good idea of what's going on in the clinic and what she expects and but they often have two people to bounce off with, right? Employees and stuff like that too. And I have an employee that's really good. She's a front desk person that works with us. And I go, okay, did you rebook that person? Or like I had a patient come in with their daughter. Daughter was very kind of drawn back, kind of looked very shy, wasn't sure where she's going to at. But he's like, oh yeah, she needs to get in for her shoulder. Her shoulder hurts. And she said a few things in the room, but when she got out and then she was at the front desk with her father and the front desk, and he was like, oh yeah, we should book something. And she was like, well, okay, do you want to book something? And she's like, oh, I have to look at my schedule. But she says she was very timid and kind of off there. So I'm like, okay, good idea. So she's like, I didn't push it. She's like, we can always talk to her later. But she was very good at kind of going in on the body language and things like that, not pushing, but yet kind of seeing if they're uncomfortable. And so a lot of times when we share duties in our office, they kind of give different responses to different people where they feel comfortable. They don't want to disappoint the doctor, maybe, but if the front desk is working with them, or like, because I get them to do some modalities for me, like if they're doing blood pressure or doing some testing, they'll talk to them a little bit more, maybe give a little bit more insight to what it is. So they're always interacting with more people. And I think the more people that have that type of interaction with the people, there's different signals that are sent. So it's picking up on those body language signals that really makes a good thing. And if it is a first patient, we try to contact them right away, within a couple of days anyway, and say, how are things going? If you need any ice, any advice with that. And if we give them exercise, we try to send an exercise thing to them, so they have that opportunity to write us back, and always say, yeah, contact us. We'll try to get back to you as quickly as we can. So that's kind of what we do.
Very good, Shane. Very good. Yeah, no, that's very very insightful, and that is so true. So we made just a couple of points about just how you're doing. Whether it's word of mouth it seems to be a big one. It's the most instant one we could do when people tell you exactly where you are and how you're doing. Google reviews are very good. And surveys, either whether you have it online or in print, or whether they have to fill something out in a form or something, is always nice. And so we're getting the feedback from other people that might be unbiased, like through a parent or a friend or something like that. So but there's always a quest on trying to improve yourself, and just getting that information will vary, Anything else you want to add there, Bernie?
I think part of it is also the customer behavior after first contact. I mean, Dwight can tell you, if Buddy likes the food, he shows up again, and he shows up all week long. Bingo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Eric goes, I solved the guy's problem last time, and he's back. It's a good sign, but if he was part of the 20% pain factor, not so much so good, right? So there's a balance in that. So how do you mitigate what causes you grief? And you notice that in the East trade winds, people are coming back. There's nothing that pushes them into that other than its community, right? And and it varies. There's nothing that anchors them in. Someone wants to speak, and they're sharing a message, and that's part of the key. Like, for example, with Kat, who's here. Sorry, I thought she disappeared, but I got her eyebrow now. There we go. Sorry, Kat. I just looked over going, where'd she go? Right?
No, I'm here. What is it?
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm razzing you. But
Okay.
it's having those topics that hit home. Like, for example, Kelly was mentioning, oh my goodness, what was the Instagram universe doing to me? So Kat has, so it's just a matter of timing. So those are the things, that's kind of the good synergy when you're having that good communication. Are people still wanting to talk to you afterwards, right? And again, it depends on the nature of the business. I mean, if you're a proctologist, maybe not so much so, but if you're doing like stuff where you're getting food from Dwight, you're connecting with Carol Lee, and they're coming back and they're thinking, and later on they support you. That tells you, that's an echo. It's their behaviors that are coming back that you're looking for. Are they supporting you? Are they doing the word of mouth advertising for you? Right, that's an indicator. That's just, it's sometimes it's not a hard stats. I realize it's 9:03, and I can keep going, and that's not a thing we want to do, because we're not drinking glasses of scotch. A little early for that, but anyhow. The quote for the day is, when people think about traveling to the past, they worry about accidentally changing the present, but no one in the present really thinks about they can radically change the future. And that's from Kai.
Okay.